In today's fast-moving world and tough competition, day-to-day life, the youth hardly finds time for remembrance of our rich heritage and past. This becomes most crucial whilst the nation celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The fight against colonial rule in India constitutes a unique narrative, one which is not marred by violence, rather a narrative that is full of variegated stories of valor, bravery, satyagraha, dedication, and sacrifice across the length and breadth of the subcontinent. These stories heritage and traditions. Thus, the unsung heroes need not necessarily define the lesser known freedom fighters.
भारतीय स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन में हजारों लोगों ने भारत को आजादी दिलाने के लिए बहुत से संघर्ष किए। उनमें से निसंदेह महात्मा गांधी जी हैं, सुभाष चंद्र बोस, भगत सिंह, रानी लक्ष्मीबाई और कई ऐसे प्रसिद्ध स्वतंत्रता सेनानी। लेकिन कुछ अनसंग हीरोज ऐसे भी हैं जिन्होंने भारत को स्वतंत्रता दिलाने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है, पन्नों में ही रह गया है। आइए भारतीय स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन के हमारे कुछ अनसंग लेकिन समान रूप से बहादुर नेताओं के बारे में जानते हैं। My name is Simran. I am from class 12C. We have Keval from class 12C, Mehul Uttam from class 12A, and Siddhi and Ankita from class 12D. So let's start with Siddhi.
I was going through the newspaper the other day and I read something about Mansoor Ray, the famous director. He has announced his next film, Abakka the Abhay Rani of the Arabian Sea. Does anyone of you know about Rani Abakka?
No, Siddhi, we have not heard of her.
Then let me take you back to the unknown history. During the 16th century, after capturing Goa, the Portuguese were now eyeing the coastal areas of Karnataka and Kerala. In 1525, Rani Abakka was born in Ullal, the pride land of the Tulwa people. She belonged to the Chota dynasty, ruling over parts of coastal Karnataka. After losing her parents in her early childhood, she was guided and trained by her uncle, Tirumala Raya. She was taught different military strategies and the art of fighting battles, along with the boys of her age. She was married to the Prince of Mangalore, Lakshmappa Bangaraja, and in 1544, she was crowned the Queen of Ullal. Upon the death of the King of Mangalore, his son-in-law, Kamaraj, became his successor as per their traditions. But as a cruel man as he was, his intention was to rule over Ullal and marry Rani Abakka. On the other hand, the Portuguese were strengthening their grip over coastal Karnataka. The local kings tried bribing the Portuguese, but Rani Abakka stood up on behalf of her people and refused to bribe. Her husband and the king of Mangalore, Kamaraja, opposed her. Therefore, she had to leave Mangalore and return back to Ullal. Ullal was an important trading center for spices, and the Portuguese wanted to capture it desperately, but Rani Abakka refused to surrender. In 1555, she warned the Portuguese from entering Ullal by defeating their admiral at the seashore, but the viceroy burned the Ullal palace with all the women and the children. Rani Abakka was able to escape safely, and with the help of Bijapur, Arab and Calicut troops and with a small army, she fearlessly fought a battle with the Portuguese. At the same time, her husband and Kamaraj joined hands with the enemy. Because of their betrayal, she lost the battle. She fought bravely till her last breath and sacrificed herself in the battleground. I guess you didn't know about a first woman freedom fighter.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that we all were not aware of that. Pity that her husband betrayed her, but she proved to be a brave warrior. See what Ankita has got for us.
I haven't read the newspaper, but I do watch a serial regularly on Sony Entertainment, which is based on Ahilyabai Holkar. It is of which I were unaware. I'm pretty sure they would be untold to you two all.
Yeah, she's also known as Philosopher Queen.
Yes, you are right, Keval. She was the hereditary queen of the Maratha Empire. She was born in the Chondi. After dying of her husband and then her father-in-law, she took the affair of Holkar dynasty. At the time of her birth, women were not allowed to go to school or get educated, but her father taught her to read and write.
That was indeed a revolutionary movement.
After her husband's death, Ahilyabai had given up all her desires of life and decided to perform sati to accompany her husband. People requested her to not commit sati. Finally, it was her father-in-law who made emotional appeals to stop her. Ahilyabai was not only capable of military, she was also considered already trained to be a ruler. Ahilyabai petitioned the Peshwa after the death of her husband and the father-in-law to take over the administration herself. She also rebuilt the Kashi temple in 1776 that had been plundered, desecrated, and converted into Gyanvapi Mosque on the orders of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1669.
He also destroyed the Somnath temple. Aurangzeb was a really cruel and intolerant ruler.
Yes, he was. And because of Ahilyabai, till date, the temple is standing with its culture and pride.
Basically, Ahilya Bai is an iconic symbol of women's empowerment and a great pioneer, and it propagates Hinduism. She builds hundreds of the temple and dharamshala throughout the India. So let's continue with Keval.
Recently, in the movie Razi, I was very captivated. It really inspired me so much for such peoples. That's when I found about Saraswati Rajamaniji, a master imposter and spy par excellence who dug out intelligence right from the heart of British establishment at the right time of freedom movement. Saraswati Rajamaniji was a woman whose story can give many spy thrillers. Rangoon, Burma. In 1926, Rajamani enlisted for Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose INA at the age of 16. She raised in a family that supported the freedom movement. The Indian National Army INA, Netaji's powerful slogans tilted the scales for the budding young revolutionary who initially joined the INA as a nurse but hungry for more challenging roles. After she nurse into spy and she was sent on a top secret mission to spy on British soldiers. And for that mission, she cut her hairs and posed as an errand boy. After a year of successful happiness, Rajamani's co-spy Durga was one day caught and imprisoned. To save Durga, Rajamani dressed up as a dancing girl, entertaining the authorities at prison. She drugged rescue her friend, and by leaving the place, she was shot one of her leg.
The bullet wound left her with a permanent limp, but Rajamani was proud of it. For her, it was a reminder of her exciting days as a spy in the INA.
Yes, you are right. And the revolutionary finally passed away in the year 2019, leaving behind a legacy of indominance courage.
Many women who walk shoulder to shoulder with the man through the rough times still remains in the shadow of their forgotten faces and the bravery which is unsung. That was very informative, Keval. Now let's ask Mehul with which unsung hero he has came up with.
Talking of one of the extraordinary freedom fighter who I read about in my social science textbook. He played a very major role in the Indian freedom struggle and had inspired many by his acts. Alluri Sitarama Raju, born on 4th July 1897, also referred to as Manyam Veedu, that is, Hero of the Jungle, was an Indian revolutionary involved in the Indian independence movement. Alluri led the Rampa Rebellion of 1922, during which a band of tribal people and other sympathizers fought in the border areas of the East Godavari and Vishakhapatnam regions known as Andhra Pradesh against the British Raj, which had passed the law. Did you know that he claimed that he had a variety of special powers? He could make correct astrological predictions and heal people, and he could even survive bullet shots.
Really? Are you exaggerating?
Really?
Yes, Siddhi.
My dear
Not only
Raju,
this, harnessing some aspects of the earlier non-cooperation movement and with widespread support among the tribal people, Alluri led raids on police stations with his followers. He stole guns and ammunition and killed several British police officers. But eventually, Alluri was trapped and he was on 7th May 1924. He was a brave son of motherland, India, who had sacrificed his life in order to make his country back free from the clutches of British.
mighty Alluri Sitarama Raju.
Yes, indeed, he was.
Alluri's idea of non-duality of man and nature with the help world to get rid of lots of problems. So he taught us that the vision of the future has to be made while learning from the past. Thank you all of you to join us on this talk show. Hope you have a great day.